Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another airbrushing step-by-step for the beginners. This one's a fun pack video. We're going to move straight in and look at the products we're using in today's video, and then we're going to get straight into it, guys. So plenty of information in this. I'll see you in a minute.
Way back when, before the grown-up phase, we're one best friend. It was easy going roll, life was anything but fair, but somehow we didn't care. Way back then, we saw all the movies on a big screen when we couldn't afford to pay the price. We snuck in through the back, hearts racing as the lights went black. Hold up, when did we grow up? When did dreams give way to plans? Wonder slip through our hands. Just hold up, just hold up. Way back now, I watched them in the yard and wonder how the world still feels that wide. Skinned knees and open skies, no fear behind their eyes. Hold up, when did we grow up? When did dreams give way to plans? Wonders slip through our hands. Just hold up, just hold up. I said hold up. Why did we grow up? When did we start moving so slow? Used to run, we used to blow. Hold up, said hold up. Hold up, when did we grow up?
Come on.
When did we start moving so slow? Hold up, just hold up.
Right guys, I'm on the action cam because I can put it on a mount and get it sort of quite close. I'm just hoping this is not glaring too much here, but you can see where we're going. Now this is in ProMask. You seen in that little clip, I projected the image up. I gave you a little pan of the tablet that gets mirrored to the projector. Now people have been asking about what projector. It is a Top Trio. You can get them on Amazon. Just type in Top Trio projector. My one is about 3 or 4 years old, so you might not be able to get that model, but the newer ones are going to be better. Even though the one that I've got is good. I had the studio lights on and that was the image being projected across, so it's a bright LED projector. So penciled it out, and then we moved over to the cutting table, and you see me place the ProMask on. Literally just laid it on and then give it a light squeegee over. And then you've seen the little shot of the silicone paper which comes on the back of this ProMask. So to the back of the ProMask you get the silicone paper. Save that and put it to the side when you're doing this step by step, because we're going to be pulling pieces out, and you can stick them pieces onto the silicone paper, and then when you need them again you can just move them across and line them up. Now one thing you can do which is handy when you've got your ProMask on here like this is to do this with a marker. Just do that across the joins like that, and what these will give you reference points. You might wipe off, just be sort of careful. You really want a permanent marker, but just do things like that or in a biro, and it'll help you level up your circles when you go to put them on. Just put some little crosshairs on, and when you go to put them back on, you can locate them to the marks going across to the masking. You can do it that way. A little bit of a tip, this will wipe off while it's drying. That was a Posca paint pen. Now at the end of that little video clip, you've seen the colour palette. Now what I did for you was put the image to one side, and then on my artwork software I went across with a colour picker, moved in on the areas of the image and made little cubes to the side, and they're the colours that are on that image. So if you print that out, you can go with your colour mixing to the little side swatch piece. The only one that was missing on that was black, so you're just going to need to add a black with that. But the other colours, you can get round this image with them colours. Now I didn't mix my colours because I've got pre-mixed. What I did was I've got some swatches with all my colours that are all pre-mixed, and I just went in on the image, picked out a few colours, and I've got them here in this line up here. We've got black, caramel, got some greys, got like a pinky red, blue, another skin tone, like a yellowy orange, and I'm just going to use these. I can get this image down looking like the original with the colours that I've got here. So first thing we're going to do is get the brush running nice. Make sure your brush is nice and clean. You're going to be running thin paint, so if you're using FW inks, I'm running ISO, so I'm thinning it right out. So nice and soft here. Trigger's nice and soft anyway. We've got 20 psi on the main line. If we need to dial it in, we can dial it in here. We've not got to go across to the compressor. We can just go straight to this and then dial this in here. If you can hear that, you can just dial that back. If your paint's really thin, dial this back. If your paint's a little bit thicker, put it up to full 20 psi. Right, the first thing we are going to do is we'll drop the background in. Now I've not cut every little bit that goes down here, all the little cracks, because we're going to use a Caran d'Ache pencil for that. We can pencil these darker lines in here. If you're a little bit shaky on your airbrush or can't get down on real tight lines, just use all the tools in the box. You know, Caran d'Ache pencils, water base, you can go in and you can airbrush over it to blend it if you need to. So removing the back piece, so get your silicone paper on the ready. Hopefully I've cut out enough. Just literally go from the top and work your way down so you don't sort of stick your mask on top of each other, because when it sticks together like this, now I've gone and done it, it's a little bit tricky to unstick it. That's exactly what I've done. I'll sort that out when we need it. So you should be left with something like that. That's all the internal masked off, and you can see your pencil outlines around the outside. And this is what we're going to colour in now. We're going to colour in all this and do this piece first. Right, we're going to go around these rock edges. Now I'm going to go straight in with a light grey. And we're going to start here. I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to put like a dotted pattern down on this, just to give it a little bit of texture. Don't worry if you don't mirror match. Mine's not going to be mirror matched to the image, but you're just creating that sort of stone look. So little dots, bouncing the brush around like that. Coming down to this piece, again just light. You can spray it up to your mask here. Just create some little textures. That's all you've got to do. Make sure your masking is pressed down. Now if you're using thin paper, your Pro Mask is probably going to grab it. This mixed media seems to work really nice with the Pro Mask, as long as you don't over press it down, like really squeegee it hard, there's no need. If you spray and get a little lift up, just go around and just touch it down with your finger, it'll stay. So working down here, a few more little dots. This piece here, I've got a little bit like that, just going to do a light pass of grey over it. And this has got loads of little dot work, so literally I've got minimal trigger on and I'm just keeping the paint on and just flicking the brush around. To create like a dot pattern. Then just shade over that. And then we can go in with another tone over the top. Moving down to this piece here, same again, little dots. Now my FW ink mixes are thin, so this brush will flow with the pressure down. It's around 10 psi. You're getting tiny little textures. Up to 20. I'm running 20 and going up close. I'm just a little bit more careful on the trigger and how much paint I'm releasing. Loads of little dots again. And then just back off. And do a little shade. Just put some little patterns in. Like that. Moving down to this bit, same again. Just see, all I can see is like a grey with loads of darker type dots. You can go in first and put a pass of paint and then just do some little dot works on top of it, just to give it that look. That's all you're after. Sometimes you can look at textures and think, how the hell am I going to paint that? But just zoom in, look at it, and it's literally dots with some little highlights. This piece here is a little bit darker. Little dots on. This will be going darker down here, so you can go in with the grey on that. And that down there. We can drop this one in here, a little bit darker. Come down a little bit more with that. You can just do the ends of the cracks however you want, as long as you get like the main sort of piece in. Just do these ones. And you've not got to be steady. So here's where you put line work in, and don't worry if you're a little bit jittery on the brush, because they're cracks in the wall, so it doesn't really matter. Even if you get a little bit of spider webbing on it, doesn't matter. A few more little dots. I'll move down to this bottom piece here, so I'm just going to go straight in and put a pass of paint. And I don't mind if it oversprays onto this. Doesn't matter, we can go on that. You can see how light that grey is. You can hardly see it. Put it there on that holder, a little bit of a drop shadow on this. You just drop that in here. What that'll do for the drop shadow. Just darken the bottom of that up. Right, onto this bit. Dots again. Little dots. It's a good one to do because you've got like a bit of texture in here. You've got some nice shading in it to do. So it gives you a good variety of doing stuff with the airbrush, this picture. Your masking, gets you on your masking. Now the Mobius, I am really liking it. Soft trigger, it gets super down on detail, gives you a little bit of room with your hand. You're not really closed off like a small brush taking you right up close, because there's no need to with this. And this brush will get super down on detail, but it just seems to work really nice. It's a great solid brush. I'll do for that, come around this bit here. A few little dots again on there. Working round, and I'm sort of leaning against the extractor here. Rest your hands up, bring your other hand up to your brush and just steady yourself and just work around a little chunk at a time. So I'm just going to work all the way around this, get all this in, and then we can put that mask back on, remove the bits we need to remove that, and just start doing that bit. Little dots again. Basically just get your paint on and just wiggle the brush around like that, and it'll give you a texture pattern, and it's good enough for this stone down here. Other ways you can do stone, because you could do this as a concrete wall if you wanted to. You could do it like that. You can also spray onto a toothbrush or dip paint onto a toothbrush and just pull the bristles back, and it can put speckles down. That's a good one to do if you're doing concrete. You go in with like a grey tone, full grey tone background first, and then you'd flick white and different shades of grey, black, and you can speckle it out by flicking the paint on, and it gives you a stone look. But this is basically like a plastered wall, so this is like the white of the wall that's been painted, and it's just burst through. I'm going to continue that line down there. We'll do a pass of paint. On there. Few dots. Let's do some random feeling like that. As I say, it doesn't matter if you're going over the edge. Like that. A few more little dotties. It's easy just to find the paint minimal and just move and jitter the front of the brush around to create a pattern. Because if you were doing just dot 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 dot, your finger's going to be killing because you're trying to find minimal paint all the time. So just get it onto minimal paint and then just flick the front of the brush around, being careful not to dink your needle into the paper. Some little bits there. It's a bit darker in this piece. Do some little dots and bits in here. So I'm not mirror matching it to the image on every little detail. Try and make this as simple as possible for you guys that are like starting out. This is a quite light piece here, so just dust a little bit in and drop a few little dot textures over it. Like that. Doesn't matter if you're a little bit shaky on your lines. A bit in here. Bring that up. Bring that up there. And go for the grey all in here. In here. You have a little bit of colour in this because there's some colours that are reflecting off the Minion up into there. I can drop a little bit of that in a minute. I'm just going to work around this grey and go all the way around it. Because it's light. Little dots again. So yeah, if you're thinking of Mobius and you wonder what they're like, they're good. They're well worth the money. I want to see what the new one's going to be like because I think that's going to be awesome. Their new brush that's just been brought out. Not sure on the price of it. Drop your comments if you know the price on the new Avanti or something is it called. But just by going from the Mobius on how good this is on a 02, I think that new one's going to be really nice. A few little lines in here, more little dots. See, I'm just bouncing that brush. Minimal paint and then just bounce the brush and it will give you a texture. You can hear it flicking with the air. The air's just down, but you can get brilliant texture doing it this way. Just literally just making your hand go like that. You can soon fill in texture areas doing this. More in here, same again. Literally fine minimal paint, and then just literally do that with the brush hand. It'll give you a texture, a random texture. squiggles and dots. Like that. So that's that bit in. Another bit here. Do a few bits in here. Follow these lines out. Right, that'll do for that. I'm going to go on to a darker grey now. Don't need to clean your brush out. If you're going from a light grey, just drop the next grey straight in. Don't overfill your cups. I've just put about 3 drops in there. Pull it through, and I'm just going to go in now and darken these lines out. With the darker grey. We have got some masking here, so when we pull this masking of a white line, don't worry about that if you've done that. If you've cut some of the cracks out, because I've cut a couple of the there, I've cut one going up. When we remove the inner, we can go back to that and drop the dark grey in. Just literally just jump back to your dark grey. Put a little bit of shade on that one. That one's going to come down. It doesn't matter if it spiders out, look, because it gives you that look. Dots, a little bit in there, continue that up. Same here. A little bit there, one there, bit in here, check for your tip dry, because you're going to get it. You'll start to see your spray pattern just slightly go off. Move it to the side and check. Something like that. Don't worry about pencil lines, because you can go in with a Faber-Castell pencil. You've seen it at the beginning of the video. It's like a medium point, so you can just go back in and just nib out if there's any bits you don't like, any pencil lines you want to get rid of, you can. It's not an issue. Right, coming around here, that bit, A little bit of shading on this bit here. A few little lines and things down here. A bit there. Do a little bit in here. So don't worry if it's not mirror matching, doesn't matter. A few little bits, a few little dots. I'm going to punch some highlights out on them later as well. Some little random darker dots. Different size dots, it doesn't matter. Squiggles. No, I think that'll do for that. Clean your brush. Keep your lids done up on your paints. Else they'll dry out around the lid. Right, this is sort of the first sort of main clean, so it's just going to be a little bit of my cleaner. Bubble back, tip that out, blast through. Now I usually get a little bit of kitchen towel, and I mean a little bit of kitchen towel. Dunk your finger in it and just give it a little spin, and that's as sort of clean as I'll go with the brush. Working this picture just a couple of times throughout. Now we've got some colours just coming round on this, some of this broken bit around the edge, so I'm just going to go in with like it's like a tint of yellow. Let's drop a little bit of that in. As I say, I'm not mirror matching every texture. Just going to go around and just drop a little bit of that where I sort of need it. Just little bits. It's only a little reflection. A little bit down here. A little bit in there. Like that, that'll do for that. I'm going to go in with a caramel. And go in and just drop a little bit of this. Just in there. Just little bits. Like that. Still going to do more to this brickwork. That'll do. That's enough. Clean the brush. I'm going to go for a little bit of cleaner again. Bubble back. Dump it through the cleaning pot. Cotton board, quick dunk, quick buzz around the cup. And we're clean again. Good to go. And this is what I mean by how quick that was to clean. Job done. You know. Like that. Right. We're now going to go in with a Caran d'Ache pencil and just sharpen some of these little bits up. With black. give it a darker pass with the black. Like that. Bit down here. Down here. Get to them bits that have got masking coming down in a bit. Not got to stress too much on that. This would look really good on an actual wall, blown up, big, kids' bedroom, something like that. Would look really cool. Just little lines. You can drop your, if you're not great on the brush, you can drop some of your dot textures in with a pencil. Need be. Then we go back in with a light grey. I'm just going to tint on this bottom edge around here. Little really going in sort of fine now, just going to line this out. Like that. Find your minimal paint, put your other hand up to the picture, get your minimal paint and then just follow it along. Like that. More little dots on this one. You just literally put the paint on and just move. Just slide with your hand. Say, don't matter if it's spidering or a bit jittery, more inconsistency around that the better. What will make this pop forward is when we drop the black and the dark tones around here. This will really stand forward then. little dots. Lines, squiggles, just creating a texture. Another way you can create a texture into brickwork, if you get a natural sponge, dip your paint lightly. If you were to mask this sort of edge off here, you could just dab. You can do it that way. You can get some stencils that have got little like patterns in them. You can get ones that are like this. These are really cool. These are like drips and a texture piece there. So you could hold that over it, some dots, and just spray, and you'll create the dot pattern. Great little shield. So if you are struggling at doing that at the start, just have a look online for airbrush texture stencils. And you'll find loads of them online. A few extra cracks on there, coming down on that. I think that'll do for that. Wash a bit over. I think that'll do. I'm going with that. Don't look too bad. Give your brush a clean out, so we're done with that. A couple of drops of cleaner, back bubble, tip it out, glow through. So you got it sort of looking a bit like that. Wipe. Dunk that in there like that. Spin it round. Blast out the excess. You're good to go. Check your tip dry. While you sort your next colour out, stick your brush down, and we're just going to pick another colour. We're going to put the masking back on. We are going to add more to this a little bit later. We'll put the masking back on, and we will start doing, we're going to drop the yellow in. So we're going to keep the mouth in, we're going to keep the goggles in, and we're going to drop the black here, and we're going to start putting this yellowy orange in round here. Right, getting your masking on can be a little bit tricky because you've got like attached to your silicone paper. Just literally go from the top. If you get a slight halo, doesn't matter because we can get around that. Don't press hard with it. There's no need to press your masking down really hard. I remember you're working on paper. If this was a car body panel, doesn't matter because you've got either a solvent base coat that's cured down, like that. Just take your time, it will go on. You get it close enough. Yep, that'll do. And I'm just going to lightly push, very lightly, just around that edge. I'm not worried about this so much. Just lay that flat around there. Then get your knife and don't stab yourself in the process. You're going to remove all this bit. Get your silicone paper on the ready. Mine is sitting next to my feet. I didn't want to pin it next to the side of the screen because then you're going to get more glare with the light. So we're just going to remove this. You probably will get some of these bits. That was part of the crack there, don't worry about that. Stick it on your silicone paper. Where are we going here? Oh, I haven't cut that out. It's a bit that I've missed cutting out. all of this. I think that feels like it's cut. That's the beauty of the Pro Mask. You can see your line work underneath. So if you get bits that come out, just literally stick them to your silicone paper like that, and then you can lift that off again and reuse it. This bit should pull away like that. So that's that bottom part of the mouth. And silicone paper, just stick it back onto that and you're good to go. Let's see how this drops down here. Yeah, we'll go with that. We can get around this. I'm just putting a light pass. Dagger strokes. Doesn't matter if you spray into here because that's black. We're going to reline that, hold the shield up, or cut a bit of the masking off the top of the head part. Just come around with this. Not going to worry about the clip here. If you go over like that with yellow, that's black on this. It doesn't matter. So I'm working this one tone. I can get probably near enough all of the colour on this just by using this one tone. Because you just go in light. Back off with your brush. That's all you got to do. And just build it up. Like that. And you can hear how you can hear the paint going on, off, on, off. I'm just literally just puffing a little bit of paint in and sort of building it up. And go darker here, so you can go up to the edge of your where the mask is. Just darken that out. Go in lighter here. Come round, check your masking. If you see your masking slightly moving when you press your air, because you always go air first and then you bring your paint on. So if you see your mask move, just touch it down with your finger. You will get it moving. Like a dark pass there, so just follow the edge of the masking round. Same here. It's going to go darker in here. Bit more paint, minimal paint, not even filling the cup up, there's no need. I would rather run out and then just literally go drop drop and then continue on than overfilling it and you're just going to waste it. Shade that in there. A little bit around there. Just going to go up to the masking there. Put a darker edge in. A couple of passes over the edge of that. Build it up. And here, a bit more of a tint in here. See, ran out 1, 2, 3, 4, I'd say 6 drops, and we're still at the bottom of the brush. where the needle is. Darker in here. Don't go dark straight away, just overlay it. You're doing like a 50-50 overlap, sort of building it up. Sort of goes a little bit darker here. Darker there. That we've got a bit of a dark line here, quite sharp, so shield is just around about here, a little pass there. Top your paint up again, a few drops, and then we can now go a little bit darker here. Over, a little bit over the top of that head there, a little bit more here, darker here, and blend all that together. That. Right, we're now going to go for, I think I've got another orange, which is a little bit more a little bit darker. Bring that around there. There's a little bit on the on that, and go in with that one along there. Orange that up a bit. Again, go in this side, drop a bit in here, down here, a little bit there, a little bit along that edge, bit there, over here, tint that in again, got it to there. Now I'm going to go in with a black, and I've literally left the orange in there and just dropped the black straight in. Little blast on the side, getting up very close to the edge of the masking now. Just put a tint of it around the bottom edge. Very light tint of it around the bottom and in here. Just under the eye bit here. Literally really minimal trigger, just backing away. You're putting very minimal paint down. I think that's good enough. Now I'm going to give the brush a clean. Bit of clean up. Cotton bud. So we've used 2 cotton buds so far. A little bit of a clean. And the cleaner works a treat because you just put it in, quick move around with the cotton bud, glass through, bit of kitchen towel. Keep your kitchen towel minimal, you don't need loads of it. You're only cleaning a tiny little cup out at the end of the day. Give that a little clean. Right, we need to go back. With the black. Just going to stick a piece of paper. I usually always have this, and it's one thing I didn't set up from the start, with a piece of paper to the side to test the brush. Just sort of went straight in and painted. So get yourself a piece of the paper that you're using and just stick it to the side like that. Then you can check what your paints are doing. Right, we've got some black in the brush. Shield. Check your shields as well. If you've sprayed on your shields, make sure they're dry. Especially if you're using Melee ones and you're using inks, just give them a wipe. Because you can have ink on the back of your shield, place it against your work, and then leave a dirty line of ink or paint or whatever you've used. This black ain't the best. It really isn't. You can see how very, very thin it is. Can't hit full opacity with this because it will instantly run. It's very thin. So you've just got to build it up. Now you can mask this. I'm just going to go around with a shield. You can mask it if you need to. Like that. You start to darken that out. Like that. You can go back in again in a minute, so let that dry down. I think this mix of the black has got the FW Flow Improver, and this is what you'll have. It stays wet for ages, and that's why I don't really use it. Thins the ink down nice, but it just takes too long to dry. Because I've ran out of FW, I've got Liquitex Black, so I'm going to use a bit of that. See how this performs. Instant difference in tone. You'll see the difference. Instantly, look, see how jet black that's gone. I would advise mask this. Go back to your piece of that you've pulled off and mask this piece out. Just be a little bit easier for you than trying to do this, because I'm not getting this spot on. We're getting a little bit of overspray. But it's good enough. This Liquitex don't like sitting on top of this FW Flow Improver ink. Getting dry. I'm just going to do a little bit. I know it's not on the image. Just going to set that back a bit. Just go a little bit dark around here. That'll do. Right, the eyebrows, well, they've got little hairs along here. Just going to drop them in a Caran d'Ache pencil. Job done. You're not got to worry about trying to get a real perfect curve. Don't stress. And on the hair strands that come out here, you've basically got white, and then as they overshadow the concrete at the top, they go into black. So Caran d'Ache white over, and then just continue over with your black pencil to create the same look as what it is on the image. Don't stress. Do the little strap bits at the side. These are just basically black. You know, if you get this with your brush, when you press the trigger, see that? And it's instantly coming out. If you're getting that when you go up to your work and press and it does this, you just need to reseat your needle. So undo your chuck at the back like that. You've got paint in there, so hold it away from you. Pull the trigger back. Give your brush a little clip press with the trigger to pump some air through. Finger on the back, and then just tighten that back up. Go back to your paper and just tap it, because you're going to get this coming through. When you've moved your needle back, when you've got paint in and push the needle forward, you'll get a splatter. Then it's stopped. Just by doing that, it stops it, and then you're back on with your paint bit. So these little bits at the side, literally just going to do some little lines across. I'm just going to do some little dot patterns in there. Drop the airbrush down a bit. Like that. That'll do. Same this side. That's got actual masking on it. We can come to them ones in a minute. Just give this edge here another little tone over. Darken it out. Now I'm going to go back to the yellow on the face. A little bit more dark around here. Like that. A little bit of dark there. Just a little pass. That'll do. Clean the brush. Now you're going back to yellow, so bubble back, press your trigger down. Well, to do that so you get the air, what you do is put your fingers over the front of the needle, pinch like that, pull back, and it bubbles the brush up like that. That'll just mix your cleaner with your excess bit of paint, just to get it sort of, the stubborn bits out the brush, and then blast it through. I'm going to go back to the yellow. And just Drop a little bit more tone in here. Coming around. Like that. I think that'll do. Put that bit in there now. Now we can get a white Airbrush. Just pop this a little bit of highlight coming round here. A little one here. Like that. A little bit of a do a little one here, light, one here, like that, do a little bit there, bit where they are, I think we're good at that bit. Got a little bit of pencil line there. Just see it in here. This might rub away a bit. That's alright, it's got it. You can knock a little bit back with this. I'll just brighten that area up there. Instead of the cane dash, you can see it just knocking it slightly back. So you can erase, with using these thin inks, you can knock it back slightly, if need be. Brighten that up a little bit here, a little bit there, a bit there. I think that'll do on that. Yeah, that'll do. Right, moving back to the masking, we're going to get the piece with the mouth, this piece, and lay that over the top. Slide it up, like that, drop that on, and then we can remove the mouth. Now, I did cut around the teeth on this. You can see the little bits. Move them over to your mask, and if you've cut the centres out like that, just move all the little bits over to your masking. Lightly go round the edge just to secure it. Now on this on the teeth, on that little reference bit that I gave you for the colour palette, I'm just trying to think which one I've picked now. They in the image there, what you're looking at now, they look white, but they're not. I'm going to go in with like a little bit of light sort of flesh tone colour, which is full opaques, this here. You can see that. I'm just going to dust over them. Like that. Let's just put a little pass over them like that. Then you can look at that and it can look sort of grey. So I'm going to go in with a light grey. Pull it through, so we've got the light grey. See, full opacity there, and when you go light, you can really put it down lightly. So just a little pass of grey. Like that. Tip them over. Like that. A little bit of grey. Then what you can do, get the bit with the teeth. If you put in small pieces of masking on, I mean this isn't that small, but if you are putting really intricate pieces of masking, say you've got the bit with in between the teeth, stick it to your blade and offer it up like that, and then stick it down. Any small bits, because it can be a little bit fiddly. Go with something like that there, I think. That'll do, I think that'll do. See, just stick it to your blade. That'll do. Drop a little bit of this in here. Light passes, keeping your air on, just dry it off, because you're in a small area and you don't want to be walloping loads and loads of paint down, because you're in a real tight area with masking, and we could have bleed through under that. You can get it, especially if you're see how light the teeth look now. Even though we put the grey on a minute ago and it looked quite dark, the minute you put that black next to it, the teeth look totally different. So save your bits either on the silicone paper or just stick them to the bottom of your Pro Mask like that. I'm going to go in with a little bit going to really lightly put the black in and just tint these down. Just along that edge. Like that. Get your Caran d'Ache pencil and then ever so lightly go up to the masking edge there Just run your pencil along the masking edge, just to give it that sharper line. Right, we're going to go back in with that grey, the light grey. Knock these back a bit more. Don't worry about overspraying onto the black because it's gone lighter. More on the bottom of that one. Right, back in with the Caran d'Ache pencil. Here's where you can drop the black back in. Like that. Reshape the teeth if you need to. Bit lower there, that one. Like that. Then you can get your eraser and just, you need to pop some of the white out. Just brighten things up a bit. You can. FW mixed medium marker. We've got a little dot highlight around here. Little one here. Zoom in. Yeah, I think that'll do. Like that. Just put a bit of that out. That'll do. That'll do for the teeth. Right. We'll keep this mask on. We'll drop the masking on the top and then we can start removing and doing the eyes. So grab your piece of masking. Like that. You may need to reposition it. That'll do. Right, these glasses, goggles, I want to really remove. I want to go for the grey tone bit first. Should have cut it out right. that back to your masking, because you're going to need it. Right, we've got a grey in here. Now this has got a lot of texture on it. Now don't beat yourself up if you're not getting all the textures in. Just going to go for a grey and start. It's like got a mottled pattern, so if you want to do a mottled pattern, just do different up and down with your brush. To create that pattern. A little bit around there. Just going in with one tone of grey, which is the lighter one. Get some paint in there. Like that. Okay. There. Got a little line there, like a crease line. This will go darker here. Do some little texture bits. As I say, don't worry if you're not getting it mirror perfect. Doesn't matter. Like that. Just keep getting the colour in. Now, make sure your masking is pressed down. Right, now I've got a bit of blue. Literally just mixing that in with the grey. See that blue? A little bit around there. Just a bit in. Got a little tint of it around here. A bit there. Got a little bit there. A bit on there. Like that. That'll do for that. You just sort of build it up. Back in with the grey. Just keep working this grey up to little patches, texture. few little dots. Around here. Right, I'm going to go for a darker grey now. Patches. Need a bit of shading there now. Bit of grey on this bit. Just going with the dark grey on this bracket for the goggles. Like that. Textures in there, need to go a little bit more. A little bit, keep some maskings down. Get the shield. Let's put a little bit in there. Maybe a bit around there. Clean the brush. Got a lot more to this. I'm going to go for a bit of that orange. And drop a little tint to that here. back in with the darker grey. Little lines. It's going to go black there. Turn this back a bit. You could add a lot of texture to this bit if you wanted to. Just do it as easy as I can for you, so it's just right, let's go in with, let's try the eraser on this and just punch a bit of this out and let's just get a few little so we're going to have a highlight around here, not with that. Just sort of knock them in place. A little bit in here. Little bits on that. I'm just literally running that up to the masking. We can tidy these bits up in a minute. And go back over it. I just want to sort of get them in place. It's a little bit brighter. Flowing in here. And so just lighten that up and then toss back over. Right, shield. Let's get a little bit of a line on that. Little textures. Right. Clean the brush. Bit of cleaner. Bubble it back. Tip that out. I just go straight for the bit of kitchen towel. That'll do. Right, I'm going to go for a little bit of black. And just darken these off here. That'll do for that. Little blast through again. Back in with that blue. Darken that up there. A little bit around there. That'll do. Run that pencil to the middle. Run that pencil to the masking. Did that. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Yeah, you can rub that bit out. Not a problem. Drop a little bit more blue up there. Back in with the dark grey. Blow that in. I'm going to go with that. I think. Yeah, we'll go with that. Right. We can now put that mask back on. Mask. I'm going to go with that. We can tidy it up. Right, that'll do. We will remove the next piece. It's going to come off. Right, we'll take that bit out. You've got to be careful lifting your masking off paper as well, because you can dig into your paper. I just did there. Just dug straight into it. I'm just going to take that off. Right. let's go in with the yellowy orange. Pass through. See how we get on with this. Oh, that's not bad. Drop a bit in there. And like that. A little bit. And this one. Get some colour in. That. Orange in. And then there's paint in there. Right, that's that. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of this. Do that. Now I'm going to go with the dark grey. Right, let's get a little bit in here. Over that top edge. Bring that in dark here. Cut my glasses just a little bit. That should have come round to there really, doesn't matter. That'll do. You can always tint back over this in a minute, it just slightly starts to look off. Right. We really need to put that bit of masking back on. Drop them back on. That bit's wrong. Oh, that did come away in two pieces. Something like that. We can tidy all this up in a minute. Like that. Drop that one on. Right, let's take let's go for the centres. Yeah, let's do these bits. Right, this bit in the centre of the eye is, I'm just going to go in with one colour on the centre of the eye, which is like this. It's like a reddy, pinky dark pink colour, and just do sort of little lines to the centre, like that. Just keep working onto the centre on the mask. Dust in. Same with this one. A little bit around the edge. Like that. And just get the Caran d'Ache and do the same again. Just do some little lines. Like that. Then go back in. Like that. Now we can go. Yeah, it's got a few more little lines. Switch it up to a black. Drop that. We've got a reflection on this black here. Just a little bit. And the haze just in some points around here. See that spider out then? Black. Liquitex black, really thin. Bring that pressure down a bit. Doesn't matter though, 'cause that little spider that went across gives you that little texture in the eye. A little bit of it around there, and a little bit of that white in the eye. Back in here. Right, because that black isn't great when I go with the Caran d'Ache. Just sharpen that up. Little edge around there. just running that pencil up to the edge of the masking, because it's got a very light line around that. Like that. And we can go back in with this. Just drop a few little bits across. Feet. Back in with, does look like when you zoom in on these eyes, does look like there's a bit of that orangey colour in there. Clean the brush. Right. Drop a little bit of this in there. Like that. Airbrush pencil. Some of these in. Well, let's go back in with this. That'll do. Right, that'll do for that. Now we can remove the next piece. Fingers crossed it comes out okay. That's that bit. Right. Now this is like, it looks like a, if you zoom in on the eyes, it looks like a skin tone colour. It really does. So I'm going to go in with the caramel on this. Out of the Dred effects set and just dust in around here. A little bit of this. Get a bit of that in there. That'll do. I've just gone in now with a little bit of grey mixed in there. Just a little bit of this in there. Edge around that. It's got darker in here. Let me go dark on there. Right, that'll do for that time. Oh, let's hit it with, have a look at that. Really could do with let's see what this looks like. That'll do. We're getting there. Bring that back. Not the best eyes, but they're not bad. Right, next tone we're going to go for teeny bit of black. Up into there a bit. Like that. The reflection. I'm not going to hit that sharp with an eraser on this, it won't have it. Just put that in. Not as sharp as I wanted it on the eyes, but it's going to have to do. Right, you can now remove this bit, and there's probably loads and loads of little gaps. Yes, there is. And then you start to pull the paper like that because it's getting hot. It goes really sticky like that. Starting to pull the paper. So what you've got to be really careful if you're working with Pro Mask on paper for a long period of time. You can catch it and it will pull. It will pull it. You've got to be really careful. I'm just going to line this out just to sink them lines in a bit around here. Darken it out there a bit. And here. And just do a dark tone around there. Like that. Back in with the Caran d'Ache pencil. Just going to line this around here. Here. Well, you've got a line all the way around there. Just do a rough one in there, that'll do. try and peel off the mask. And we're going to pull it. It does get sticky. Sort of around here. That's not looking too bad. It go in the camera, just tidy some edges up. Like that. Everything. A bit like that. Bring that over there. Get a little bit in there. Hello. Fireworks. Who's sick to death of the fireworks? We've got dogs and it's an absolute nightmare for the dogs. It really is. Right, I'm just going to do some strands coming across. They're not going to mirror match anything, but I do. And then where they come over, just bring them over like that. Like that. Could have got a lot more textures on the glasses, but we're working on paper that is porous, and you can't get much out of it if you want to try and get some textures doing erasing. I'll get a few little bits in. Not a great deal. A little bit. Great, just grey that out. Little bits in these. A bit around this edge. White. Yeah, we're going to call that one done, guys. Right, there you go. We got it down in the end. We could have got this a lot. I could have got this a lot sharper. With literally the cutting of the mask in and really go to town. But I tried to keep it as sort of simplified for you as I could, as you see me go around it. Just be really careful with your masking if you're on paper, because you're leaning against it when you're painting, so it's heating the masking up and it's getting sticky. And careful when you're picking it and pulling it off. But it came out, it's all right, it's not bad at all. We've used pencils, we've used the FW inks, we've used the custom skin. I used a bit of Liquitex black, which was like really out the brush, but it darkened it out where we needed it with the Liquitex. We've used the eraser the sort of best we can, because we're on cheap paper, we're on mixed media paper, so you can't get the sort of textures that you're after because it's just absorbing into the paper. If it was like a synthetic paper, you'd take your time a little bit more and you can really detail this out more than what that is. I mean, that is quite detailed, a little bit messy in places, but as I say, it's a practice panel. And because it's getting colder now, got no heat in the studio, you have the extractor running and it's pulling cold air from outside in, so there's the temperatures dropping as the afternoon's getting, it's 3 o'clock and coming on 4, it's about 5 o'clock now. It's just getting colder and colder. I can feel my feet going cold, my hands are going cold, and it's like I just want to get this done and get back in the house. But you see how it came together. You've got all the bits there to have a go at this in this video, so give it a practice, guys. Do your little textures, really detail this out and just work it in and just take your time, mask the inner out, put all the cracks in, and probably have a go at doing this on a wall. If you've got like your kids like the Minions, you can project this on a wall. I'd go application tape, it's a little bit cheaper for a bigger area than Pro Mask, and do it with the application tape. Pencil it out, project it up on a wall, bigger, so you've got a lot more room to work with. Cut the pieces out and just do it the same sort of way, and you can really make that cool effect on a wall in your kid's bedroom or something like that. And keep hold of your silicone paper, comes in really handy when you move the pieces, because we had a lot of pieces taking on and off. It's a bit easier to take it on and off the silicone paper onto your piece that you're working on. So I hope you enjoyed this video, this step by step. Give it a go. Links in the description to the Dred FX custom skin, FW inks. There'll be links to the knife, the Pro Mask, application tape will be there on this site as well. All the airbrushing goodies are on there and more. And just give it a go. Drop your comments, tell me your thoughts, and I will see you in the next step by step. Thanks for watching. Cheers, guys.
Ecco il mio cuore, I'm giving you all my love. Sempre sarai tu il mio amore, my darling, my angel, my dove. If ever you would leave me, I think I would lay down and die. Oh, ecco il mio cuore, now tell me your